Could get started by saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This month is Mental Health Awareness Month, which was first recognized in 1949, and the pandemic has only made this recognition even more important. More than 50 million Americans and their families are living with a mental illness. Couple that with pre-pandemic statistics, with 2 years of stress, isolation, and uncertainty, it is no surprise that many people are finding that the pandemic has taken a toll on their well-being in more ways than one. People may delay treatment because of the stigma sometimes attached to mental health care. We know that seeking help is a sign of strength, not weakness. If there is anyone out there that is struggling, you should know that you are not alone, and there are people who can help you 24 hours a day. The local suicide prevention hotline number is 614-221-5544, or you can also call 1-800-273-TALK. Two other things that I want to recognize during Mental Health Awareness Month that are resources for everyone in Franklin County, all of our neighbors, is the Credible Mind platform that we have. It is a platform to connect families with national and local resources on more than 200 mental health topics. You can visit franklincounty.ohio.crediblemindcom for self-assessments and to be connected with information, podcasts, videos, treatment options, and more. This is a free way for any Franklin County resident to start learning about their own or a loved one's mental health and to get direction about how and where to find help. And I have gone on a Credible Mind platform. It is a great source of information for meditation or stress, anxiety, how to cope at work, returning to work, all kinds of things. And then you can do I think it's like maybe a 12-minute assessment. It is a really great resource, and I would encourage everyone to take advantage of it. Lastly, I want to congratulate the Franklin County Adam H. Board for being named the Alcohol, Drug, and Mental Health Board of the Year by the Ohio chapter of NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. NAMI selected Franklin County Adam H. from among 50 other boards and specifically noted its professionalism and responsiveness to individuals and families, and its commitment to quality housing and its ongoing role as an advocate for people with mental health needs. We're proud of our county partners at Adam H. and know that the residents of Franklin County are lucky to have them in our corner. And I'll just say, as we recognize Mental Health Awareness Month, I have spoken openly about my challenges over the years with dealing with and living with a mental health illness. I have posted a talk that I had with MHA, Mental Health America, the Ohio chapter, and NAMI when I was in the legislature. And if you follow me on social media, I reshared that on Instagram, and I believe as well as on Facebook. And it was something that I wouldn't talk about for a number of years because of the stigma that is attached to people who have a mental health illness. And I really try to now speak openly to really get rid of that stigma, especially in the Black community where we don't talk about anything. Everything that happens in the home stays in the home, which can be detrimental as well to our mental health and well-being. And so in that conversation that I had, I talked about how I ended up speaking about my challenges once I came into the legislature, because I felt like in order to break the stigma and have people feel like they're not alone, me as an elected official and the person in leadership that folks often look to, I needed to be able to share my own story, so people would feel more encouraged to share theirs and get help and seek the help that they so need. I am someone who lives a happy, healthy, productive life, have been very successful, not on my own, only by the grace of God, in the village that I have around me to support me, my mental health and well-being. And so Again, if you're out there and you're listening, if you want to read my story, it is out there for you to read. Be encouraged. Again, you are not alone. It's okay to not be okay, and it's okay to get the help that you need. And if you happen to have a diagnosis or get a diagnosis, that's okay too. It really is okay. Mental health, we should treat it just like any physical health diagnosis that we may have. So that's all I will say about it. I don't know if my colleagues have anything to say about it, but I will open it up to them.
Sure. I thank you, Madam President, and I want to thank you for certainly sharing your own personal story and encouraging so many of our listeners and perhaps viewers on the importance of investing in yourself and mental health. The numbers are certainly on a rise in terms of folks who need resources. And Franklin County is committed. It's one thing to recognize the month of mental health or to even be an advocate like you've been for mental health services. But if you think of the broad spectrum of the things that Franklin County is doing, I think that's where you really see where we can really make the difference. Let me begin with the correctional institution that we have invested nearly $500 million in. People ask me all the time, why are you investing so much resources into a jail? And I give them two answers. First, you have to see the old jail to appreciate what is needed for a new jail, what's right and fair, and gives people a chance to have their fair day in court, if you will. But secondly, the linkage to crisis services. If you come through those county jail doors, more than likely you are in some form of a crisis. And the way I look at that investment is that we're able to better triage the resources that people need in perhaps their highest moment of crisis, that whatever activity landed them in our jail system, now it's our job to help triage them to the resources they need so that they can get on to a healthy and productive life like you just described. And so it is something new that many of us are thinking about in our lives. I'm 50 now, and at 50, I'm very reflective on the things that have happened in my life and the things that go on every day. But I know there is an element of it that is linked to mental health and the ability for me to go on each day. And so if you are listening or viewing today, I do want to encourage you to get the resources and help you need, not just because it's Mental Health Awareness Month, but because it makes for a better society. It makes for a better you. And so I just want to encourage you that and assure you that Franklin County is committed to those resources. I know the other point I was going to make just real quick. We just recently had the resolution appropriating additional funds to Adam H's new development, their new center. And it's the same concept that we've got to begin to think bigger about a vastly growing community in Central Ohio. And that's why we can make those kind of choices. We were faced with the choice of cutting funds, which cut into programmatic impacts. And I don't want to speak for my colleague, but I feel like we're all in unison saying we are not going to jeopardize the programmatic aspect to save a few dollars here or there, that we are going to focus more on the service and the need and provide that as a basis as opposed to doing what sometimes we do in government with big projects like that, which is nickel and dime the project to what we call value engineering and all that. So anyways, so I really feel good that we are taking the right kind of steps, Madam President, and I think your advocacy and your leadership, putting yourself out there, is a real demonstration of why we're well equipped to do this in the right way. And so thank you for sharing those comments today.
Thank you. I don't know if Commissioner O'Grady is on, but I want to just turn to Administrator Wilson real quick, if he would be willing to speak to what we have done just as a county to support our employees and putting their well-being at the forefront and making it a priority. And that's another reason why I'm so happy to be a part of Team Franklin County and leaving the legislature and coming here to a place that values our people as people and seeing them as human beings having human experiences and making resources available. So Administrator Wilson, if you'd be willing to speak to that.
Thank you, President Crowley, Commissioner Boyce, Commissioner O'Grady. Yes, I am as well proud of our Thrive On employee wellness program. We have the Credible Mind thing available that is a tremendous resource for our employees as well as each one of the 1.3 million residents of Franklin County to receive mental health and behavioral health support services. But every day, our employees are engaged and have opportunities to have resources available through our Thrive On program. There are regular newsletter communications that go out to our employees, constantly reminding them that it's okay not to be okay. Our employee assistance program a number of years ago went to where people were, not having our employees have to go where EAP was. We embedded EAP services in a number of our critical agencies so that employees could receive the help they needed and try to prevent our employees from being in a situation to where they're serving our residents who are dealing with life obstacles and they're dealing with their own personal life obstacles and not be able to have resources available and try to reduce the stress on our employees, which in turn causes issues in the workplace and which could jeopardize our employees' employment and entering into, disciplinary agreements. And there was a way to help our employees deal with stress, put them in a better position. We have our Wellness Your Way program, which focus on preventive health, biometric screenings, health risk assessments. We have a number of programs such as our STEP Challenge that begins tomorrow, I believe, where employees are encouraged to have an active lifestyle and take control of their health. It is such a focus for Franklin County that our health benefits plan is not a benefits plan, it is a health improvement plan. We just want to change the focus, change the narrative for the employees here within Franklin County. So thank you for allowing me to briefly speak on some of that.
Absolutely. Thank you, Administrator Wilson, and thank you to our administration as a whole, as well as our directors who continue to put our employees number one and a priority. And Commissioner O'Grady, did you have any comments this morning, sir?
Thank you very much, Commissioner Crowley. I want to first say thank you to Commissioner Crowley for being willing to share her story this morning. Being willing to share your story, whether it's publicly or privately, is a very crucial step in all of this. Keeping your thoughts to yourself during a mental health crisis is always a difficult thing, and sharing your story, again, whether it's privately whether it's a counselor or a family member or publicly, it can only be a positive in this whole step. A couple of thoughts that I had. Franklin County has been traditionally and historically been investing in mental health and mental health services for a long time. And the idea, the fact that this Board of Commissioners, my colleagues, my current colleagues, are continuing to invest, but not only continuing to invest, but continuing to invest in the way that they are to the magnitude that we are, speaks volumes not only for them but for Franklin County's commitment to mental health and mental health services. But as the chair of the Large Urban County Caucus, NACO's Large Urban County Caucus, myself and my vice chairs, my colleagues from across the country, have chosen to put a focus on mental health and childhood mental health during the coming year due to all of our observances of the effects that COVID has had on mental health and childhood mental health in all of our communities. We see it here in Franklin County, but as I talk to my colleagues across the state and across the country, they see it in their communities as well. Kids that are dealing with mental health issues, because of their inability to deal with school in the same way that they normally would, their inability to deal with their athletic endeavors the same way that they normally would, their inability to deal with friends and family in the same way that they normally would, and adults dealing with work and finances and all kinds of different issues, just isolation, all the things that COVID has brought us have really enhanced, as Commissioner Boyce pointed out so well, have really enhanced all of the issues around mental health. And so we as a caucus of the largest counties in the country, my vice chairs and I have all decided that this is something that we need to have a major focus on. And on our monthly call just last week, Administrator Wilson spoke about the Credible Minds program that Franklin County has implemented. And so we just believe that this is collectively the we here in Franklin County, my colleagues, Commissioner Crowley, Commissioner Boyce and I, but also collectively, we as the largest counties in the country believe that this is one of the big crises of the day due to COVID. We have many crises, obviously, housing and education and transportation. There's many things that are going on, but this one is just something that we think is crucial. So sorry for taking a little bit too much time this morning.
Oh, no, you were fine. Thank you so much for your comments and all that you do, cheering Luck, and looking forward to this year's platform on focusing on adult and children mental health. So thank you for your leadership. For Credible Minds, again, that to access that, you can go to franklincountyohio.crediblemindcom. All right. Next, we're going on to the regular agenda. First up, we have the engineer, and I know we have a public hearing. Can the deputy clerk please read the public hearing?
Resolution regarding establishing, altering, and widening of the Havens Corners Road Drainage Improvement Project, Jefferson Township, Franklin County, Ohio, viewed. Engineer to file plans as necessary.
I would like to open the public hearing for this resolution. Is there anyone here who would like to speak on this public hearing? Seeing none, I would like to close the public hearing and have the deputy clerk read the resolution into the record.
Resolution number 40322, establishing, altering, and widening of the Havens Corners Road Drainage Improvement Project, Jefferson Township, Franklin County, Ohio, viewed. Engineer to file plans as necessary.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Nick Soulis, Government Affairs Liaison for Engineer Cornell Robertson. This first resolution today in the public hearing, if authorized, if approved, would authorize the county engineer to prepare the plans for establishing, altering, and widening the Havens Corners Road drainage ditch. This project is located in northeast Franklin County in Jefferson Township and consists of more than 2,300 linear feet of drainage ditch improvements. So unless you have any questions, I request your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, I will move approval of resolution 40322.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes,
Resolution number 40322 has been adopted.
thank you. We have another public hearing. Can the deputy clerk please read the public hearing?
Resolution regarding establishing, altering, and widening of the Havens Road and Wagoner Road Drainage Improvement Project, Jefferson Township, Franklin County, Ohio, viewed. Engineer to file plans as necessary.
I would like to open the public hearing for this resolution. Is there anyone who would like to speak on this public hearing? Seeing and hearing none, I would like to close the public hearing and have the deputy clerk read the resolution into the record.
Resolution number 40422, establishing, altering, and widening of the Havens Road and Wagoner Road Drainage Improvement Project, Jefferson Township, Franklin County, Ohio, viewed, engineer to file plans as necessary.
Commissioners, this resolution is very similar to the last one. If approved, would authorize the county engineer to prepare plans for the altering, establishment and widening of the Havens Road and Wagner Road drainage ditch improvement project. Again, this is located in Jefferson Township in northeast Franklin County, approximately 2,400 feet along the coal ditch. And pending any questions, I ask for your approval.
There are no comments or questions. I'll move approval of Resolution 404-22.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 404-22 has been adopted. Resolution number 405-22. Resolution awarding contract and approving contract bond to Double Z Construction Company for the Amlin Area Infrastructure Parts 1 and 2 in the amount of $2,612,674.98.
Commissioners, this next resolution authorizes the award of a contract and approval of a contract bond for Double Z Construction Company. This is for the improvement of Rings Road from Cosgray Road over to Churchman Road. It is a full-depth road replacement, curb and gutter, and pedestrian infrastructure, along with street lighting and trees. The project will also upgrade the CSX Railroad at Grade Crossing. This is a locally funded project, and Engineer Robertson's EBE program has been implemented. Our EBE goal is 10%. And the utilization plan form submitted by Double Z will exceed that amount. So we're very proud of that, and pending any questions, we ask your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 405-22.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 405-22 has been adopted. Resolution number 406-22, authorization for the Franklin County Engineer to enter into an intergovernmental agreement with the City of Westerville for bridge repairs to Schrock Road over Alum Creek and the resurfacing of a portion of Dempsey Road, City of Westerville, Blendon Township, Franklin County, Ohio, in the amount of $130,248.89.
Commissioners, our final resolution authorizes an intergovernmental agreement with the City of Westerville, which will provide reimbursement to Westerville for the costs associated with their city projects of making some repairs to the Schrock Road over Alum Creek Bridge, as well as resurfacing a portion of Dempsey Road, which is located within Franklin County's jurisdiction. Pending any questions, we ask your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 406-22.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 406-22 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Next up, we have the recorder.
Resolution number 407-22, resolution authorizing the purchase of capital equipment and the awarding of software and equipment maintenance agreements for an archive writer for the Document Imaging Center in the amount of $105,430.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Brian Endicott. I'm the Director of the Franklin County Recorder's Document Imaging Center. We come before you today to respectfully request your approval of a resolution authorizing the purchase of a Zucto OP800 dual-capacity archive writer. This archive writer will replace a 17-year-old Kodak I-9620 archive writer that's suffering through several routine maintenance issues. Additionally, the Kodak archive writers are outdated technology that no longer supports our production needs. Through extensive research, we have determined that the OP800 is the only equipment on the market that can handle our production needs, and the Crowley Company has been approved as a sole source provider of the OP800. We have before you a resolution totaling $105,430. That total cost is broken down as $81,500 for the equipment, $19,550 for the initial 3 years of preventative maintenance and software support, with the remaining funds for shipping, installation, and training. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have, and we respectfully request your approval on this resolution.
There are no comments or questions. I'll move approval of Resolution 40722.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 40722 has been adopted.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Next, we have Office on Aging.
Resolution number 40822. Resolution authorizing a contract with Blue Chip Broadcasting Limited, doing business as Radio 1 Urban 1 Incorporated, WCKX-FM, WXMG-FM, and WJYD-FM for the provision of advertising and promotional media services for Office on Aging in the amount of $20,000.
Good morning, Commissioner Crawley and County Administration. I am Shonda Wingo, Interim Director for the Office on Aging. And joining me today is Quality Insurance Administrator Larice Cohens. The resolution is a contract, would authorize a contract with Blue Chip Media Broadcasting, DBA Urban 1 for the provision of advertising and promotional media services in the amount of $20,000. Through targeted outreach efforts, Office on Aging will provide awareness to the community about programs and services provided by the agency through radio ads, social media, email blasts, with the goal of the media campaign being able to empower Franklin County residents and families to remove the stigma when accessing our agency services. The media outreach campaign was developed using data from our 2021 Community Needs Assessment that we facilitated last year in collaboration with Age Friendly and COAAA, where we learned that residents who were aware of our office also expressed that there was some stigma attached, also believed that they were not eligible for our services. But we also learned that one of the methods that our community learns about our services is through word of mouth. And so this campaign is targeted to reach those areas that we have not explored previously. The campaign utilizes mock testimonials that are relatable to increase community awareness. And we used our staff internally as the voiceovers for many of the mock testimonials. We do have one youth who is not an FCOA employee who serves as a kinship mock testimonial because we know that multi-generational families are also impacted and in need of FCOA services. Our goal is that through this media campaign, this information will be shared with the listeners and the viewers, families, friends, and neighbors who are in need of our services. This contract would be in effect from May 25th through August 28th and would not exceed $20,000. Pending any questions, I respectfully request your approval of this resolution.
Madam President,
Yes, go ahead.
I just wanted to say thanks, Chandra, for the the presentation of this resolution. I'm personally a believer in the ability to advertise resources that we offer to create a better access point for people who are in need. I just can't tell you how many times I run into someone on a day-to-day basis who say to me, tell me what resources the county has to offer to help me. And so here's that opportunity. I also just want to say on the record, as I said in briefing again, I don't think this is enough. I think that we should be doing advertising at a substantial rate to ensure that people know what resources we have to offer them, especially in the time, in this sort of pandemic time that we're living in now. And so I'd like to see a more robust effort with regards to print media. I know this is for sort of the word of mouth effort, but I'd like to see a more robust effort with the print media, social media, and radio, because I do think there's an audience out there who needs our resources, and we've got to find a way to make sure that they know they exist. So I'm very supportive of the resolution. Hope you'll do more. Would like to encourage that to the administrator and to the deputy administrator who's here in the audience. I want to see more of this type of resolutions coming forward. Thank you.
Yeah, I would just add, and I know that at least our public affairs office has been doing a really great job with social media and graphics, and especially if we're targeting those who are caregivers and not necessarily the aging. We have to be mindful of like all of demographics and ages that represents, and I know Ross is here, but he does really great graphics that people are engaging with now, or short clips and videos. and then he pushes those out, and then they get reshared, and there's been a lot of engagement. So I think, and I know you all have a PIO and some other folks starting to yesterday. So, which is great. So I would encourage them, since Ross just came back from this whole conference on like social media and how to like an engagement or whatever, that we really will take advantage of that knowledge and skills that he possesses, and look at all of the ways that we can engage people to help our aging neighbors.
Thank you. We did go back with the feedback from last week and begin to request, some print media quotes to get an idea of what that looks like. Our communications team did start yesterday. Our deputy director of communications, which is a brand new role, and the PIO 2 is also a brand new role. So we do have a lot of exciting plans already written into our strategic action plan. We want to do newsletters, social media, you name it. We're excited, and we definitely embrace this feedback.
Thank you.
So we need to, I love this, by the way. I agree with everybody. But we have, radio here, and I agree with Commissioner Boyce. We have radio here. I may also agree with Commissioner Crowley and Ross that, social media is a fantastic tool. But we also have people who don't necessarily listen to radio and don't necessarily, and certainly lots of people, especially older folks, who don't use social media. So I think we need to continue to look for every opportunity and every avenue available for us to get the word out to folks about what we do and what we provide. Those are great. This is great. We have great, efforts to get the word out there, but we need to continue to look for more and more opportunities and more efforts to be able to get the word out and spread the word about what it is that we do. So anyway, if there are no other comments or questions, I will gladly and happily move for the passage of Resolution 40822.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 40822 has been adopted.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Next up, we have economic development and planning.
Resolution number 40922. Resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County Commissioners to sign the attached discharge of mortgage instrument for Donald A. Gibson at 1050 Columbus Street, Village of Harrisburg, Ohio, 43126.
Good morning, Commissioners. Donald A. Gibson received on February 16, 2012 from Franklin County a home loan for $9,808 on real estate, commonly known as 1050 Columbus Street, Village of Harrisburg. The requirements of the housing loan have been satisfied, and I respectfully request the approval of the discharge of mortgage on this property.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 40922.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 40922 has been adopted. Resolution number 41022. Resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County Commissioners to sign the attached discharge of mortgage instrument for Patrick E. Peters at 1123 Eureka Boulevard, Columbus, Ohio, 43223.
Patrick E. Peters received on November 1st, 2017 from Franklin County a home loan for $10,430.32 on real estate, commonly known as 1123 Eureka Boulevard, Columbus, Ohio, 43223. The requirements of the housing loan have been satisfied. The property taxes are paid and current, and I respectfully request the approval of the discharge of mortgage on this property.
There are no comments or questions. I will move approval of Resolution 41022.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 41022 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one. Next up, Job and Family Services. Thank you.
Resolution number 41122. Resolution approving a contract amendment with Access to Interpreters LLC for interpretation and translation services, an increase of $100,000 in the amount of $1,550,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Vivian Turner, Assistant Director, Job and Family Services. We have contracted with Access to Interpreters to help meet our commitment to providing meaningful access to our programs for limited English proficient residents and families, as required under Title VI of the Civil Rights Act. Access to Interpreters provides over-the-phone and other interpretation services for our residents. They also provide document translation services for agency forms, brochures, in 4 primary languages: Spanish, Arabic, Somali, and Nepali, and others as requested. We are currently in the midst of the final contract extension with Access to Interpreters after they were awarded the initial contract through a competitive bid process in 2019. This amendment will add additional funds to the current agreement in anticipation of an increased need for interpretation services over the final months of the contract. The amendment will be funded with TANF dollars, and the September 30th, 2022 expiration date will remain unchanged. Pending any questions, we request your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, I will move approval of Resolution 41122.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 41122 has been adopted. Resolution number 41222. Resolution approving a COVID-19 recovery grant with St. Stephen's Community House for the Ohio State University Pathways to Progress Summer Youth Employment Program in the amount of $615,847.85.
Commissioners, we are excited to present the Pathways to Progress, an 8-week college and career readiness program designed to provide high school students with the skills necessary for employment and foster a strong civic engagement for young people who will participate in a series of interactive workshops, seminars, and activities designed to increase their proficiency in business writing and strengthen problem-solving and critical thinking skills. Following the training, youth will be presented with a community-based problem, and over the final weeks of the summer program, they will use those skills they have gained to conduct research on the subject, identify and develop strategies to offer youth-oriented perspectives and solutions. They will work in teams to produce a multimedia proposal to present their findings. In addition to the 100 young people enrolled in Pathways to Progress, St. Stephen's will also offer the traditional ready-to-earn paid work experience for another 50 youth who will be placed in organizations throughout the community. We're excited to have T Street, the director of the Health Sciences Academy and Outreach for OSU, to share a bit more about the Pathways to Progress program.
Good morning. Thank you, commissioners, for the opportunity to present this morning. Thank you to Administrator Wilson, Deputy Administrator Bivens, and to Assistant Director Turner for the invitation to be with you. I am excited and ecstatic to be able to talk about the Pathways to Progress program. It is said that the bottom line is results and everything else is rhetoric. Well, last year we got great results from our Pathways to Progress program. We had a 97.1% completion rate of the students who participated in the program. We are proposing to serve 100 students across Franklin County. Currently, students are registered from Columbus, Westerville, Groveport, Southwestern, Reynoldsburg, Whitehall, Gahanna, and even some Pickeringtons who are trying to slide in, but I said, I'm sorry, you're in Licking County and we're serving Franklin County youth. But we are ecstatic to bring back 10 students from last year as peer leaders as well as 10 college students who supervise the student process. The students will spend 6 weeks, approximately 6 weeks, learning job skills. They will learn how to do resumes. They will learn public speaking skills. They will learn communication and critical thinking and creativity, and the opportunity to learn how to collaborate with their peers to produce during the 6-week a multimedia presentation. They will compete for the opportunity to work on 2 community projects at St. Stephen's. One of the projects I want to give you guys just a glimpse into, they're going to actually turn St. Stephen's children's, their daycare center into an early learning center through the vision and the lens of young people. And so they will have an opportunity after their presentations. The 2 winning teams will be able to use the funding of $10,000 to actually implement their projects. Watching the young people last year wasn't just transformative for them, it was transformative for all of us who had the opportunity to witness just the stellar, all of the stellar skills and attributes that our young people possess. I don't read the media to tell me about who our young people are and what the promise that this community has. I read the results of the young people who participate. This year, I wrote 24 letters of recommendation for college of students who were in my summer program last year. And so for me, the bottom line really is results, and anything and everything else is rhetoric. I'm humbled to be able to serve the young people of Franklin County. I appreciate the challenge to work with students from across the county and not just in Columbus, though I value Columbus as a Columbus resident, I value Columbus, but I also know the efficacy of bringing students from all across Franklin County to learn together, to work together, and to succeed together. And so I'm humbled that you all are choosing The Ohio State University and St. Stephen's to bring this program forth. And so if there are any questions, I'm happy to answer those questions for the commissioners. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President, and welcome to Franklin County Board of Commissioners, Ms. Street. So good to see you. As always, I want to take you back in time just a little bit to an organization that you and I worked on together way back in the day called the Columbus Youth Commission. And it was a very similar kind of concept where you were working with young people around Central Ohio to help them dig into and evolve in their own leadership skills. And I specifically want to share with you one little story. There's a young man who was one of our youth commissioners. I believe he was in one of the first or second classes. And today, that young man is a physician. And a very good physician, I might add, board certified, doing very well. However, I'll add this, that he is also my business partner on a couple of projects. And it's an example of when you're able to pour into someone that, whereas they may be getting a good education, they may have some good things going at home, but sometimes to bring out the leadership capabilities in them, they need other things that help drive that. And I like what you said, learn, work, and succeed. And then you talked about results. And that's really what this the return on our investment is in these young people, is the results that they are positioned to do well in this community, like my physician business partner who was a part of that program. And I know he talks about it all the time. You know, it's so weird though, you know, when he shows you pictures of me and him when he was a youth commissioner, or him and the mayor. But the point I'm making is that this $615,000 is money well spent on behalf of Franklin County, pouring into young people from all over Central Ohio, but more importantly, to equip them with the resources needed to bring out the strengths, the inner strengths that already exist in them, and that hopefully we can help evolve into a greater role in this community. So I'm very supportive of this grant and looking forward to meeting some of the young people that are in the program.
Thank you, Commissioner.
I understand that we have a speaker slip for this resolution.
We do.
All right.
We have a Reverend Charles Leister here in support of this resolution. Before you begin, Reverend, I would just like to say that speaker remarks may not contain obscenity, commercial advertising, defamation, or slander, nor will speakers conduct themselves in violation of the disorderly conduct or the disturbing a public meeting provision of the Ohio Revised Code. All comments will be directed to the Board of Commissioners. Permission to speak may be denied or terminated if remarks are disrespectful or antagonistic. General session is not an adversarial proceeding. You will have 3 minutes, and I will give you a 1-minute warning, and you can begin whenever you're ready.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Thank you so much for letting us share with you our opinion concerning this resolution. I'm Reverend Charles Leister, and I represent the BREAD organization here in Central Ohio. We support this resolution approving a COVID-19 Recovery Act grant with St. Stephen's Community House. Youth employment provides great opportunities to help young people learn and have developmental valuable skills. Summer jobs can also help some youth contribute to their family's household income, allowing them to aid their parents with financial support as inflation puts a strain on many of us. We applaud the county for millions of dollars you invest in housing solutions and social services each year. At the same time, professionals tell us that you can contribute all the money in the world to social services, but if people don't have safe, decent, affordable housing to go back to, the services are not as valuable. From a personal experience perspective, working as a teacher and in administration in the school systems, we observed that many of our students' issues that they were facing found their way back to the situation where their housing was not stable or decent or affordable, and as a result of that, many things that they were facing in terms of, as you mentioned, President Crawley, mental health issues, in terms of the stress that they face of not having a stable home, the fear of being evicted, or the fear of having to move to a new area because they can't afford the rent, and having to find new friends and new schools, issues of dealing with mold and mildew and infestation that faces their stress levels, possibly the stress levels of their parents or adults in their home that resulted in them coming with actual their own behavior being affected by that. And so because of this, we continue to call upon the county commissioners with other housing advocates in Central Ohio to allocate 1/3 of the county's American Rescue dollars, plan dollars, to affordable housing. To this point, we are disappointed that the county has not yet done this, and we urge you to allocate those dollars immediately and not to wait until the deadline. From the county's website, we have seen that you have utilized some dollars, I believe $9 million to go to housing, and $34 million has gone to social services. We aren't saying don't fund social services. We understand the value of that. But what we are saying is we need to recognize the issues within our community for affordable housing and to find ways to find more resources to allocate those funds as needed. A lot of the professionals in our research, as well as the Curran Institute at Ohio State University, indicated that the issue of affordable housing is a $1 billion problem within Franklin County and Central Ohio. And therefore, because of that, President Crawley, our Housing Committee wants to work with you to move forward on having the county allocate 1/3 of the rescue dollars on housing solutions. And we wish to meet with you by July 1st, if possible, and also all the other commissioners, Commissioner Grady and Commissioner Boyce, to share with you our research and to see how we can work together to expand the funding of affordable housing. Thank you for our time and speaking with you today.
Thank you, Reverend, and thank you for your comments. Let me just say, I appreciate you being here today and your continued advocacy for BREAD and for housing. You asked if we could speak by July 1st. I've already had 2 meetings with your organization. One just this past, my team I think 3 weeks ago, and then myself and about 10 individuals from BREAD about 2 months ago, and we talked about housing, we talked about sustainability, we talked about a number of things, and in that conversation, I reiterated the ongoing efforts that the county has in response to affordable housing. And I mean, Administrator Wilson can talk to that, as well as Deputy County Administrator Eric Janis, in all of the ways that we support affordable housing, whether it's projects and buildings, building projects that provide wraparound services, permanent supportive services, rent and utility assistance that we continue to do, because we do understand that housing is foundational, but also making sure that people have all of the things that they need to be anchored in the community and move up an economic mobility ladder. So we've already had the conversation. But happy to meet with Brett again before, as my schedule allows, since we already just had 2 meetings. When we get back to the resolution and the opportunities that, and I'll just say I'm one of 3. And so I know you all just had a meeting, a large conference a couple weeks ago where you put my name on the agenda about housing, but I work with Commissioner Boyce right here, as well as Commissioner O'Grady, and so we're a board of 3. So I hope that you all will make plans to meet with my colleagues in effort to talk about all of the initiatives that you all have. But when it comes to resolution 41222 in the Pathways to Progress program, I just want to underscore what my colleague said as far as giving our youth opportunities to thrive, and that shows up in many ways, and we see all of our investments in our youth as multi-generational investments. As you talked about your business partner and what he was able to do with an opportunity, we want to make sure that every child in Franklin County has the same opportunities to thrive and not just survive. And so I will open it up to my colleagues if they have any additional questions, or Commissioner O'Grady, if he would like to speak to this resolution.
Is Commissioner Boyce not around?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. No, I think folks who know me know what my opinion of the Bread organization is, and I think the Bread organization knows what my opinion of the Bread organization is. Franklin County is doing an enormous amount of work in the area of housing. The 3 county commissioners are personally committed, more so maybe than any other issue that I know of. We are committed to the housing issue. Nobody needs to school us on housing. Nobody needs to demand things of us in the area of housing. We not only have we done a huge amount in the area of housing, we're going to continue to do more in the area of housing. We work with experts at the county courthouse. We work with experts in the industry. We work with experts at the city, state, and federal level. We work with our colleagues across the state of Ohio, and we work with our colleagues across the United States. So, we are doing yeoman's work in the area of housing, and we will continue to do that. We are committed to this. We have spent millions. We will continue to spend millions. So that's my thoughts, and that's enough said.
Madam President, may I?
Absolutely.
Thank you once again for coming down, Pastor, and certainly share our gratitude to the Bread organization for its advocacy in Central Ohio on a really important issue. I think, fundamentally, I think everything's been said. Affordable housing is at the crux of what we will really have to address over the next 20 years as Central Ohio grows by over 1 million people. And it's something that I know all of the mayors in Central Ohio, all the suburb city councils in Central Ohio, and all of the people in Central Ohio, even businesses, are thinking about and are trying to find ways to address that shortage. That being said, one of the things as elected official, I think our greatest challenge is to have to take what is limited resources and make a lot of important decisions for a lot of important issues. And it will always be a challenge to find a way to spread that resource around best we can to address all of the issues. And so I want to encourage BRED to continue to engage with us, continue to communicate with us, but moreover, to create an atmosphere of creativity and approach to this. The BRED organization as an institution can also join in the effort of affordable housing. We see a number of churches that are taking on this tough issue to work with us to try to solve this issue. I'd certainly love it if we had a money tree somewhere or money printing press somewhere in this building, and certainly we would churn out all the resources to do that. But we've got to make a lot of decisions, and so I think we really agree fundamentally on this issue of affordable housing and where it ranks and the importance. The challenge is that we've got limited resources, and we've got a lot of need for a very vastly growing Central Ohio. And I can tell you, I talked to county commissioners all over the state and even country for that matter, and they'd love to have our challenge, but it's still a challenge. And so I can assure you that, I don't want to speak on behalf of my colleagues, but I will. So I can assure you that we are committed and dedicated to this conversation, and your ideas are welcome, and hopefully your partnership is welcome. So thank you so much for coming down today on behalf of the institutions that you represent and the folks that are engaged with your organization.
In conclusion, I just want to thank Madam President for the opportunity to share with the commissioners, and thank you for the meetings we've had with you. They've been beneficial, and we're looking forward to that. As we've said, we're looking to work with the county and commissioners to find solutions and things that we can work together and support, and not only from your perspective, but also from our own research, and to see how we can move forward in terms of addressing such a major crisis. Thank you, and we look forward, as I mentioned earlier, to meet not only with you and what we can learn and grow and support together and work on together, but also with the other commissioners, and for the opportunities and time to be able to meet with you. Thank you so much for the time and for your comments.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Commissioners, for families who are interested in registering for the Pathways to Progress program and our other summer employment programs, as well as information on our summer youth program, they can go to jfs.franklincounty.ohio.gov/summer. And pending any questions, we request your approval of this resolution.
Hey, Ms. Turner, do you have some social media posts that we could all sort of
Yes.
use? If you could
We
get
can
those
send
to
that
us,
over to you.
that'd be great, and we can all kind of push that out as well.
Thank you.
Yep.
Will do.
There are no further comments or questions. I will happily move for passage of Resolution 41222.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 41222 has been adopted.
Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Next up,
Thank
we,
you.
oh, thanks. Next, we have Justice Policy and Programs.
Resolution number 41322. Resolution authorizing a contract with TKCK Investments to provide transitional recovery housing for participants of the Pathways Achieving Recovery by Choice program through grant funding in the amount of $20,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Melissa Pure, Operating Officer with the Office of Justice Policy and Programs, and happy Mental Health Month. Commissioners, as you know, and the timing on this is ironic, but as you know, housing continues to be one of the biggest challenges for our individuals transitioning out of a carceral setting back into our communities, especially for those suffering from a substance use and/or mental health disorder. Research confirms housing is a critical component to an individual's recovery journey. Through this contract with TKCK Investments, our office will be able to place individuals engaged in treatment into temporary recovery supportive housing for up to 90 days and possibly up to 180 days. In addition to housing, individuals will receive case management and peer support services. This contract is in the amount of $20,000 and will be supported with an FY 2018 Comprehensive Opioid Substance Abuse Site-Based Grant Program, and will support up to 571 bed nights. Pending any questions, we respectfully request your approval of this contract with TKCK Investments.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 41322.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 41322 has been adopted.
Oh, thank you. Next, we have purchasing.
Resolution number 41422. Resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $1,560,700.93.
Good morning, Commissioners. Megan Perry Balanier, Director of Purchasing, and joining me is Marlise Ryan, Economic Equity Administrator in the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. Commissioners, this resolution requests your approval of 72 purchase orders for which the county auditor has pre-certified available funding. And Marlise has the supplier diversity data for this week. Good morning, Marlise.
Good morning, Megan, and good morning, Commissioners. We have for your approval today 8 purchase orders presented to award to 2 small and emerging business enterprise, 1 minority business enterprise, and 5 women business enterprise, totaling $110,756. This week, the following agencies have increased supplier diversity within Franklin County: Court of Appeals, the Engineer's Office, Prosecuting Attorney's Office, Recorder, and Sheriff's Office.
Thank you, Marlise. Pending any questions, Commissioners, we request your approval of this resolution.
There are no further comments or questions. I'll move approval of Resolution 41422.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 41422 has been adopted.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. Do we have any generalizations?
No, we do not.
Are there any members of the media who would like to ask any questions? All right, hearing none, this concludes our business for today. Thank you.
Yeah, I got you.